I'm curious about whether you've had the opportunity or you've been called or inspired to reflect on how far you've come in your life, and also whether you have a special place that you return to time and time again to connect with yourself. Hey friends, I am forest bathing right now. It is Friday. It's the full moon in Libra, and I took the day off so that I can have a little retreat for myself and come to my favorite place, one of my favorite places on the planet that I don't live too far from, fortunately. I don't know what it is about this full moon, this particular full moon, that has me reflecting on how far I've come. And it feels really good to do that. On my drive up here, I was thinking about what it was like when I used to live here back in my 20s, and what it was like before that in my late teens, and the really difficult time that I was going through and how long it lasted. I was dealing with crippling anxiety and a lot of confusion, and I didn't know who I was. And I think most people, as they're growing up, they have to go through that process of knowing themselves, and that takes longer for others. Some people get to that place more quickly. I don't know. Let's leave time out of it. But I had such crippling social anxiety that I would get sick around other people, and I almost flunked out of school because I couldn't leave my apartment. And the funny thing is, I was just thinking about this on my hike up here. The funny thing is that I had friends around that time that would have described me as an extrovert. So I don't know if that's because I have a moon in Sag and I'm a Taurus sun and a Pisces rising. So there's that dichotomy between inner and outer, but I was really, really struggling with some difficult emotions. As a way to, I think, escape from that, or as a way to deal with that, I left the place where I grew up and I moved to the Southwest. And when I say moved, I put the very little belongings that I had in a backpack and literally left everything but what was on my back. And I ended up here in Santa Fe. And I stayed here for 7 years, and it was the most powerful time in my life, one of the most powerful times in my life. And I was still struggling with not knowing myself and confusion, but for the first time in my life, I felt freedom and the joy of freedom. And I can't help but think that who I am now and the gift that I have now to be able to look back on how far I've come is in large part due to finding this beautiful place and the healing that it brought into my life. I don't know if you have a place that you love like that, as much as that, and if you have a place that has healed you in that way or has facilitated your healing in that way, but Santa Fe is that place for me. And I know Santa Fe gets a bad rap. I know it does. There are a lot of naysayers, but its beauty is unparalleled, and I hold it very close to my heart, very dear to my heart. Its beauty, and let it show you, all of the, just beautiful things about it, beautiful and unique things about it. And I think that if you come here with that, in that place inside of your heart, if you bring that, if that's where you're at, if you come here with that, that you can experience extraordinary healing. And I say that only because that's what I experienced, and I've heard other people talk about it that way too. I've been getting the message a lot recently, or at least it's been resonating with me, that my independence is my foundation for future success, for success. I've compromised. I think that's it. I think I've compromised a lot of my personal integrity in the relationships that I have been in. And I'm at the first time in my life where I am not willing to compromise, and I'm not willing to sacrifice on my personal integrity. The sense of strength that I am experiencing at this time in my life, in comparison to, looking back at how far I've come or where I was at, how many changes I've made, the growth and the development and the strength, the inner strength that I experience now in my life, is also in part due to my willingness to be independent, to be as independent as I am today. And so I'm just bringing this message to you with a lot of joy in my heart. And I'm curious about whether you've had the opportunity or you've been called or inspired to reflect on how far you've come in your life the past week, or on this particular day with the full moon in Libra. And I'm curious about what those changes have been like for you and where you're at now. I'm also curious to know if you resonate with my story of independence and social anxiety and confusion and growth and development. And also, whether you have a special place that you return to time and time again to connect with yourself and to feel healed. I'm wishing you a beautiful weekend, a beautiful spring season, and much love to you.